Steam.
Cybertron, our home. For generations, it has been a peaceful world, until pride and a lust for power divided us. Now we fight enemies who were once our brothers.
Hey guys, LeBurn98 here, and this is another one of my Steam sale videos. This is obviously Transformers War for Cybertron. Now, I'll have to admit right off the bat, I'm not a huge Transformers fan. I had a few of the toys when I was younger, and I might have seen a few of the episodes. I'll be honest with you, I was more into Ninja Turtles and Ghostbusters, so I kind of never really got into Transformers during its heyday. Of course, now with the movies, it's become popular again. But the movies, for the most part, at least from my understanding, are not anywhere close to what they should be regarding the cartoon and the whole canon of Transformers. And so, but, you know, a game's a game, and I do like the idea of huge-ass robots fighting huge-ass robots, so that's why I picked this up. I have watched the movies, and, you know, they're all right for, you know, the popcorn flick. You know, nice explosions and, again, big robots blowing shit up, but so that's basically what I wanted in the game. So I mean, if I got something like that in the game, that was great. If there's a good story in the game, that's even a bonus. Again, I'm not a huge Transformers fan, so a lot of the neat touches that could be in this game, because apparently, from what I've been talking with a few people, this is by far the best Transformers video game that they've ever released, and it stays very true to the whole canon of the franchise. So again, I'm talking about the cartoon and maybe in any various versions of the cartoon, because I believe they made a few different series of cartoons. So yeah, so how's the game? It's actually pretty darn fun. As you see here, I'm playing as Megatron, and I believe this is actually a prequel to a lot of what we know, or what people would know as Transformers. And you know, Megatron right here is basically just an ordinary person. I mean, he's not all that powerful yet. I don't want to provide any spoilers just yet. We'll see that in a moment. But he's just like all the other Decepticons. So it's nice for someone like myself, who's not really all that familiar with Transformers, to kind of see the whole team, I guess you could say, of the Decepticons as well as the Autobots kind of get assembled throughout this game. Of course, a little later, we will meet Bumblebee when he joined the Autobots. So, yeah, so basically, in a nutshell, what this game is basically a third-person shooter with some vehicle-like sections, because obviously they're Transformers, so they can transform into vehicles. And as you see right here now, it's very reminiscent of games like Gears of War and various other type of games like that. There isn't a cover system, at least nothing I can really come up with, because I'll be honest with you, I didn't play a huge amount of time. I didn't put a huge amount of time in this game. I'm actually playing it some more after I do this commentary, but it's actually pretty darn fun. The controls are serviceable, actually very responsive for the most part. I'm playing this on the PC, obviously. It's a Steam sale, and it's showing the commands for the keyboard and whatnot, but I'm actually playing it with a controller. It does support the Xbox 360 controller, but the one thing I do not like when a game supports controller is they do not map the buttons. Now I understand you can't map every controller out there. It'd be extremely difficult to do and time consuming and not really worth the trouble, but at least support the Xbox 360 controller. A lot of games do that, they obviously tend to be the games for Windows Live, the ones with the label on the top of the box. But it's nice to be able to see something that's familiar regarding a controller, like for instance push A to jump, push B to whatever, X to reload, and so on and so forth. So it's kind of, and I think you might see it a few times in this kind of mini playthrough, that I didn't know what button to push, because it's showing me on the keyboard what button to push, but with regard to a controller, I don't know what button to push. A lot of the button presses that you will see, though, like E for instance, as well as reload for R for reload, they're actually, when you use the controller, all the X button for the Xbox. Again, as I mentioned in the previous video, I use a PlayStation controller, but I'm familiar with the Xbox 360 controller, since I do have an Xbox 360, and the controllers are very similar for the most part. So yeah, one thing you see here as the graphics is the graphics are actually not bad. Some parts are actually very well. They look very well done. The design of them are actually pretty good. Creates a really good atmosphere. One thing I did notice, as playing this on the PC, is they don't provide a lot of graphical settings. Now that's very common nowadays when it comes to console ports, and this is most definitely a console port. Don't get me wrong there, it's definitely a console port, but there's very little settings in the graphics menus. Anyway, I'm going to let you listen to some of the voice acting here.
What? This isn't possible. No. No one can control Dark Energon. It dominates and destroys everything it touches.
I am the Dominator. I am the Destroyer. I am Megatron! Autobots, roll out!
Yeah, so as you can see there, or rather you can hear, it's Peter Cullen doing the voice of Optimus Prime. He is the man, and it wouldn't be a Transformer game without him. Funny enough, he's actually a Canadian voice actor. Go Canada! As a Canadian myself. Anyway, as you can see here, this is actually a vehicle section in the game. Of course, you can transform into a vehicle at any point to your pleasing, but there is some sections like this that actually are meant for driving. Now this brings me to the next point, and we're going to see this very, very soon. I have a clip of it, is the frame rate issues. This is probably one of the things I hate the most about the game. Is it does get extremely choppy. Well, I wouldn't say extremely choppy, but I mean it's definitely frame rate issues. And again, if you don't know already, I have a GTX 580 graphics card, obviously NVIDIA, as well as a X4 AMD 955 3.2 gigahertz quad CPU. Is a bit underpowered for the GTX 580, which I will remedy at some point. But nevertheless, it shouldn't be a problem for a game like this. So yes, as you can see right there, it's a bit choppy. Now, one thing I would not buy this game for at all is the multiplayer. As you can see there, there's under 100 players online, and of those, probably most of them are hackers, or very, very, very many of them are hackers. At least I'm told. I mean, I didn't play it all that much, and when you do play the online, this is what you get. Very boring, because you spend the whole time looking for enemies. Now, it does seem like it's going to be it would be a fun game. One of the things I have noticed, and one of the complaints I've heard, and I don't know if it's fixed since then, so don't hang me if it's wrong, but is the melee is overpowered in the game, which can create problems in multiplayer and will stop a lot of people from playing it. So as we're nearing a close with this video, the ultimate question is, was it worth the buy? And at $6.50 or around there, I can't remember the exact amount, most definitely. The single player is fun, it's addicting. The gameplay's pretty good for the most part. The transition from your Autobot, for instance, to a car works very well. Most definitely better than the movie tie-in games. So yes, definitely worth a purchase. Anyway, this is it for this video. We'll be doing at least 1 or 2 more of the Steam Summer Sale because I have a few more games I want to show you guys. In the meantime, I'm going to let you listen to Bumblebee's voice acting. And until next time, this is LeBurn98 signing out. See you guys.
This Autobot needs repairs. Be still. I'll get you fixed up.
What? No, there's no time! I need to find the Autobot called Optimus. I have important information for him.
I am Optimus.
You're... Sir, it pains me to tell you this, but our leader, Zeta Prime, is dead.
Megatron. What of the High Council?
They've gone into hiding, cut all communication with the outside. Optimus, with Zeta Prime gone, our forces are directionless, ineffective.
The Council will emerge when it's safer. In the meantime, Ratchet, Bumblebee, you're with me.